Hello and welcome back to Dukascopy TV. With me in the studio today is Bjorn Martenson, Investment Manager with Black Pearl Capital. Bjorn, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here again.
Now let's talk about your portfolios. You've got quite a diverse portfolio with holdings in Poland, Hong Kong, USA, UK, I believe. When you're entering these markets, is it the attributes of each particular place? We have to be in Hong Kong, for example, or is it a part of the bigger picture for diversifying a portfolio?
Well, I think from the list that you've mentioned, it almost sounds like we have to be there, but no, that's not the case. So it tends to be a deal-by-deal basis, and a lot of it is partnerships and networking. So from our partners and the networks that they share, we come across specific deals, and a lot of the time we look for local know-how in who we're partnering in the deal, and that gives us the real access to understand how to operate that asset and how to develop it further.
Excellent, that certainly makes sense. Now, one thing which is interesting is that the markets overall globally are on the stage of recovery, but there has been quite a lot of increased volatility in the markets. Is this in the financial markets? Is this something which is reflected in the real estate markets as well? Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the current dynamics and how you negotiate them within the sector.
Yeah, sure. Look, I think real estate is very nice because it takes away a bit of that volatility out of your portfolio. So some markets are correlated highly. Dubai, I think, is one of those examples. We saw it in the financial crisis, that real estate prices really crashed with the rest of the world economy. But Asia, for example, is not always on the same path. So our investments in Hong Kong have been producing steady yield. Our investments in Eastern Europe have been producing steady yield throughout these times. And we've purchased a lot of assets even before the crisis, which are still performing well if you're in the right market. So we look at it more as hedging our risk to volatility than anything else.
Now, in talking about opening up markets, the real estate industry or sector has really transformed over the years through advances in technology. A potential buyer can take a virtual tour, basically, of a property or a house or a building, whatever, from thousands of miles where the actual property is. Has this opened up new markets to you, or I guess also increased competition as well? I
think again it comes back to our first point. It's the local know-how. So the technology in a market like Dubai, that's a very new market, is there. You can, as you said, view everything online, see all the pictures and know a bit more about what's out there. Hong Kong is a more traditional market. Some of the areas in America are less developed as well in terms of the online platforms. In Asia, literally in Hong Kong, you have to have the network of local agents renting. In our case, we own commercial property in Hong Kong. And if you don't have that network with the agents, being online isn't going to help you one bit.
Excellent. But what about, you've mentioned a few different areas, but are there any particular regions which have potential for growth, do you think?
Well, right now we're looking at the Middle East, specifically Dubai, and in Dubai Marina, we think that there's a lot of potential. It's an expat area in Dubai, has a high density population, a great sort of flavor about it of lifestyle and location. And also Dubai last year, or the UAE in general, was the world's strongest growing real estate market. They've just won Expo 2020, which will create 275,000 new jobs by 2019. So we see the right fundamental macroeconomic factors in the UAE market to enter that in the real estate space.
Sounds excellent, sounds very interesting. But Bjorn, thank you so much for coming in today and telling us all about it just now.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, well that's all from Bjorn and myself for the moment. There's plenty more to come from the Dukascopy TV team, so make sure you keep clicking back to the website. Goodbye for now.